Yay. Happy Sunday, everybody. I know I usually go on at 7:30, but tonight I thought I'd come on at 7 o'clock and maybe we can go to 8:30. Maybe we'll still go to 9. I don't know. We're just going to play this one by ear. Yeah, I just made a cup of coffee and I know it's going to take a few extra minutes for everybody to pop in tonight because, like I said, I'm a half an hour early tonight. I really want to get outside and go for a walk tonight. I know last night I let it go until about 9:30 at night, and then I went for a walk and I went and grabbed a coffee and yeah, and then I was walking home and I said I didn't even want to go home, right? I just look at my apartment as I walked by it and I just kept going. And I ended up walking till I think it was after midnight by the time I got home from my walk last night, and I really enjoyed walking at nighttime compared to during the day. I don't know why. I think it's that feeling of having the world to myself, right? So tonight I'm looking forward to going for another walk. But as you pop in, say hi. Let me know what you've been up to tonight because I am curious. And I know there are people that have been kind of waiting to see what I've been up to today and where my progress is been going. Oh, I don't look too bad. I thought I was a bit of a rat woman today. I was actually just catching up on some videos and stuff. And now I'm looking at the camera and go, oh, okay, well, I don't feel too bad that I didn't get ready to go live, that I just kind of pushed the live button. Yeah. I guess that's part of losing the weight, right? I don't know if I should be saying this, but I think for the first time in my entire life, I don't think I've ever taken pictures of myself without clothes on. And I did that the other day and I looked at them and I went, oh my gosh, sometimes we don't look at ourselves the way that we really project, right? Like until you see yourself on video or see yourself in a picture, you either think really highly of how you look, or in most cases, or in my case, you think very badly about yourself, right? You'll pick at every flaw that you have, and any little thing that anybody said to you, you kind of project it onto yourself, right? So, but anyway, I don't know why I brought up those pictures, but anyway, I took those nudie pictures of myself. They were nice ones. They weren't like posing and stuff. They were just kind of, just to see, it was kind of the weight progress kind of thing. And again, I wanted to really see how I actually looked compared to how I looked inside my head. And yeah, there was a big difference. Good evening, Andrew. Oh, you getting old? Yeah, we're all getting old. Yeah, but now I put in a little manifestation that we're gonna slow Cindy's aging down a little bit, right? Because I had a late start. So yeah, if I could like go every 2 years, I could gain a year in my life. That would be absolutely terrific, right? I'm very lucky, that I've held my health, right? And I guess that's part of the big reason why I don't feel my age, because I don't have any ailments, right? And I've been very lucky that way. And it's because I think, and I've been thinking about that too, why I don't. And that's because, I was always big, and because a lot of not nice things were projected on me and everything. And I think that was a way for me to boost my self-esteem and my self-worth, was just to always think and always say to myself, right, well, at least you have your health, right? And so I ended up projecting that on myself, right? And I think that's what I did. I'm pretty convinced that's what I did, right? Because I have incredible health. Like, I went to see the doctor last year and he was doing a whole bunch of blood tests and everything. I don't know why I was going, oh, it's because I got I got shingles, right? So I just wanted to keep up and check on my health. I don't know how many people out there actually have had shingles. I'm sure because of the age of a lot of my audience, I'm sure a lot of us have had shingles. It's something that stays in your system from when you're a kid or as an adult, right? Because a lot of us pick up chicken pox from the kids and stuff too, right? But as a child, I had chicken pox, and you have a 50-50 chance of getting shingles when you have chicken pox, right? And yeah, I had this terrible pain in my back, and after a few days, I started researching this pain, and I crossed by shingles, right? But when I looked on my back, I didn't see like the pain. Like there's always extreme pain before the actual rash appears, right? But I looked at my back and I didn't see a rash, right? So I kind of checked shingles off the list, right? Even though, it kind of felt like the symptoms, but also at the same time, I remember my mother saying that I never had chicken pox because I inquired about it, right? And she says, no, none of my kids had chicken pox. No, oh, okay, well, it's not shingles, right? But sure enough, yeah, I got a straight line on the back. It was probably about this big, right? And it just shot up my back, and I instantly and I caught it. I'm sure I caught that rash within a few hours, and I went directly to the walk-in clinic. And yeah, I was very lucky. He gave me some medication that took that rash away within a few days. But I had that really, really bad pain for I had that bad pain for a couple of weeks. It was really, really terrible because I couldn't sleep, I couldn't think, and I was working, and it's really hard to concentrate. I don't know how many people out there have had shingles. I don't even know how I got into that conversation. I think I'm just stalling out, right, for getting into the deep stuff. I'm just kind of stalling out by yapping about piddly stuff, right? Yeah, it's a self-love kind of week. I'm still carrying on, hanging out on my own and trying to solve my problems on my own and trying to figure out what I'm going to do. But at the same time, I'm looking to my lessons for that advice too, right? And I'm also, trying to heal some of those blocks, abundance blocks that I have, because I really could have used the money by now. And I stumbled on to some more information, which took me into some more information, which took me into a deep dive there. And yeah, boy, my life changed incredibly in the past few days even, right? I'm not the same person. Like, holy cow, I should be a babbling mess. I should be so stressed right now with everything that's going on with me that I should not even be able to think, right? And I should have, there was a time when I would just be stressing and I would be like just jittery and just fearful, right? And I don't feel any of that. All I feel is that, well, let's get on with the live tonight, because now I'm looking forward to that walk, right? That I want to do tonight. So pop in, let me know you're there. And if again, my conversations have been going really off this way and off this way. So if you just want to kind of hang out in the background, right? I'm not going to call anybody out if you want to come into the live chat, because we do have some amazing people that follow me, right? And, I owe them so much. And I was sending out blessings, I actually, was thinking about a few of you this week, and I was just wishing, lots of wonderful things, because we've gotten to know each other, over the past few years. And, I know a lot of what you guys are going through, just as well as what you guys know of what I'm going through. The situation is no better with my one sister, and of course I'm not keeping in touch really with my other sisters too, just so that they can't really weed out any information for anybody, right? This is something that I needed to do. I really needed to get away from those negative energies, and I tried, even they can say that I did not try, just to be cheerful and try and put a smile on their faces, but they are dealing with so much stuff on their own that they're I don't know what to do, right? And I should be able to know what to do, but I don't know what to do. So the only thing I could do is, because I have to watch out for myself, right? Because if I let myself go backwards, then like maybe I could spiral. No. No. That ain't gonna happen. But you don't know. I just can't be around that kind of energy anymore in my life, right? It was really, really difficult, and because I felt so much shame and so much guilt, for letting them help me, right? That I was pounding on myself, right? And then I wouldn't have been able to get away from them, and then I would have still continued, to take what they had offered, right? So I had to get out of that, and yeah, I'm not accepting any help from them. And yeah, and I'm actually, pretty excited to see, what offers come in. I feel like I'm entitled or something. I'm sorry, I don't mean to say that, but I have this distinct feeling that there's stuff happening that I don't know about. Well, but I feel it, right? Like I feel it, even though I don't know about it. So maybe that's part of the reason why that I'm not worrying too much. I just made a cup of tea because I've run out of coffee. I ate my last 3 eggs. I looked at my cabbage. It's got black mold all over it, but I kept it because now I'm going to take it, when I go for my walk, and then I'm going to chop it up and I'm just going to throw it on the ground for, the rabbits and the deers and stuff. So I kept that. And yeah, other than soups in my cupboards with with noodles in them, and I'm really trying not to eat noodles, but I will if I have to. Of course, I'm not going to starve myself to death, right? But yeah, I'm just pleased, like it, and I'm not losing the weight because I'm hungry, like I am eating, I mean, look at how much weight. Look at how much weight I have lost in 6 months. Even to myself, I don't even look like the same person. Yeah, I'll never dye my hair that dark color again. I don't know what got into me. Like I wore that dark hair for, I think, well over a year, right? And I thought it looked terrific, and it was actually, ugh. Yeah, I'm happy to have my blonde back, and you know what? Maybe I'll let it go gray now. Yeah. Maybe I'll just dye it that silver blue. I always like seeing those pretty elderly ladies, right? And they have that silver blue hair, right? Oh, thanks, Andrew. Yeah, but I thought, maybe I would like that. But usually it's with like long, straight hair. My hair is very, very curly. Like I put coconut oil in it just to tame the curl. But I think it would probably, if I didn't, it would just be like a big fuzzball afro. And actually in high school, I actually remember I did have an afro. It was like when I got to be like 16 or 17 years old, and I was able to decide whether I wanted to have long hair or short hair, right? My hair was very, very curly growing up. So I wasn't really allowed to have long hair. I always had short hair, right? And then I think around 16 or 17 years old, I started growing my hair out. But yeah, it turned into an afro. What were you up to today? Did you go to church tonight, Andrew? Yeah, I've been looking at religions lately, right? I just, I know there's something out there, right? But I don't know. I don't know what, right? So, I just, Oh, wonderful. So I do believe in God, right? But I don't know where, right? So I've been just kind of studying different religions and everything, right? And I was studying this one, and it hit home to me, right? And yeah, so I've got to give it some more research and everything, but yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on that, because I am open, I always have been open, but I think, my life experiences, growing up as a kid and stuff, and because my dad wasn't religious that way, right? My dad followed law of attraction, right? And he believed in reincarnation, right? And I really haven't delved into any of the religions that deal in reincarnation, but I also believe that we get the opportunity to come back, right? And yeah, if you don't get it right the first time, you get to come back again and try again, right? Yeah. Yeah. What denomination are you, Andrew? Can I ask? I'm very interested in religions. Yeah. I was even looking at some of the magic ones, like Wicker, the white witchcraft ones. Yeah, the ones that do the tarot readings and stuff. Yeah, so I was watching a couple of those today. Oh, and today I ran across it was really strange, right? Because I woke up this morning and I said I wasn't going to go into my subscriptions at all today. I was just going to watch videos that YouTube suggested to me. So I just stayed in my home channel, right? And I made a point of every time I went into home to watch the first video that was suggested to me. And the first video that was suggested to me today was a gentleman named Seth Godin. He was the first thought leader I had actually ever watched on YouTube, right? And when I watched him, like, he was very smart and very intellectual, and I really enjoyed the conversation that he was having, right, and his insights. And yeah, and then like Jordan Peterson got suggested to me, and then I found Tim Schmore, and Tim Schmore, he's not in that thought leadership, though he's a very smart man, and he teaches, right? But he's a YouTube certified teacher, right? Like, he teaches YouTube, and I needed that for my channel desperately, right? My channel was really starting to make me feel miserable, right? Because I wasn't doing what I wanted to be doing. I couldn't afford to go out and make the videos that I wanted to make and stuff. And that's how we actually introduced the live, right? It was actually, the live chatter was just filler, right? Because when I couldn't go out and explore, I thought, oh, I'll put up a live. And then I just fell in love with my chatters, right? Don't we just have the most amazing... Oh, evangelical. Okay. Excellent. And it's independent. So what do you mean by independent? Does that mean independent evangelical, that they would take people that, like same sex, partners and stuff that believe in Jesus and God and stuff, that they would take those people into the church and pull them into the fold? I would like to know that, Andrew. If you guys welcome those denominations in. Yeah, but anyway, yes. So it was really neat, because then I was thinking about it, right? Because you all know that I follow Evan Carmichael, and I was thinking that when did I first, what was the first video that I saw Evan Carmichael in? I knew instantly which one it was. It was Tim Schmore. He had some kind of group or something, and I saw Evan, and he was just reaming into somebody, and I thought, excuse my language, I said, what an asshole. Like, that poor guy, look at him just dig into that poor guy, right? And then I just didn't even finish. I think I was so ticked that was allowed to happen on Tim's channel, that I just got out of that video right away, right? But I noticed that I was seeing his pictures here and there, Evan's pictures here and there, but I was just ignoring it, right? And then I saw Evan's thumbnail, and his thumbnail actually scared me. And yeah, but Google or YouTube just kept sending me, suggested videos, and I kept ignoring them, right? And then my YouTube channel was not doing good. I was just turning miserable. Everything just seemed to be falling apart around me. And I guess they suggested one of his videos again on my homepage, and it was probably something in the sentence, because I didn't remember the exact video that I saw, right? But oh yes, I do remember. It was a Seth Godin. It was a Seth Godin. Holy crap! Isn't that interesting? That all led, the whole thought to figuring that out. It was a top 10 video on Seth Godin, and that's what got me to hit that thumbnail and go watch Evan's video. And yeah, Evan had me at believe. It sounds like that movie, doesn't it? Isn't it something? Oh, I didn't even make that connection. Yes, that top 10 video of Seth Godin. That was the first video that I watched Evans, and then I just turned into a gobble monster, right, on his content, and I just kind of brushed aside, that first impression that I had of him, yelling at that poor guy, and I would just started thinking, how amazing is this guy? Like, how amazing! Like, I felt him, like I felt this guy, like I felt how genuine he was, like right away and everything, right? And but I was watching lots of other people, but then it just kind of seemed like his channel was like a one-stop shop, right? Like, because you could get all the thought leaders, all the gentlemen and ladies who teach mindset, you could get it on his channel, right? So I got to experience all of these thought leaders, and I thought I would be able to pick one of them, right? Because I didn't want to be with everybody, right? I just wanted to be with one person, and I just thought, and I there were a few that I really liked. Like, I really liked Ed Milet, and I liked I always end up forgetting their names. It's like it's purposely blocked for me so that I don't show favoritism or anything. But it never really crossed my mind that I would want to learn from Evan Carmichael, because he was just featuring all these other thought leaders, right? And yeah, I don't know, somewhere along the line, I came across a little teeny weeny clip. And it was, oh, wow. Okay, I came across this little clip, and it didn't show any heads, but I could tell Evan's voice right away. And I could tell he was young, right? Like in his early 20s or something, but he was so excited and he was so thrilled, and he was meeting one of his heroes or something. And it was just a little clip, and he was running up to this guy, and he was just saying, "Oh, I love your content. Oh, I'm your biggest fan." And I just felt him, right? I felt him right away, and I went, yeah, I want to learn off Evan, right? And he pulled me through for 2 years. No question, there is no question in my mind that I would have given up at least a year and a half ago if I hadn't found Evan Carmichael, right? And yeah, I'm very thankful for that I did, because yeah, I've gotten myself to a point now where yeah, I know who I am, right? I know my self-worth. I know that I have self-respect for myself. I know I'm brave and courageous. I know I'm smart. I know I'm in touch with with feelings. I know I can be comfortable now being the person that I am, right? None of that would have happened if I hadn't bumped into his channel, right? And though I'm still in this crappy situation, right? Like, I'm in no better situation now, in a physicality kind of way, right? But emotionally, I'm just done with that life completely, right? And I am sorry that people got hurt in the process, right? But I just couldn't be there, and I wasn't feeling good about myself because I was put in a position where I felt like I was using people, and in the end they felt I was using them, even though in my heart I think they know I was telling the truth, right? It's been a long time now, right? I've been trying really hard, just sticking to just the 3 rules: no lying, no cheating, and no lying, cheating, or stealing, right? And if I said if I could just do those 3 things, then I could manage learning and healing up and all that rest of that stuff, right? Oh, good evening, Owen. Oh, thank you, Owen. Thank you. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I feel so empowered is how I feel. Like I feel so empowered, right? I'm controlling how this whole story works out for myself, right? I don't care. I don't care if I'm not getting the attention. I don't care about the people that stalk me online. I do kind of worry about these conversations. Like, I have people contacting me now, and I get excited because maybe I think, oh, I got a client. This is somebody I can help or something, and then it just turns out to be guys. And yeah, you guys, you gotta know that you know I love to make friends and everything, right? But that's not what I'm looking for right now, because as far as I've come, there's a long way for me to go, right? And if I happen to bump into somebody, right? Because I am all about the pheromones. Yeah, can't help myself. But those pheromones, I don't come across those very often. Maybe once every couple of years or something, I'll walk by somebody, or I'll talk to somebody, and yeah, and I get a whiff of that, and yeah, then you got me, right? But there was one guy, and it was I I I couldn't control myself, and he worked. I was 40 years old. He was an 18-year-old cook in the restaurant that I was managing, right? And yeah, he had those pheromones, and I had to work with him. He was a full-timer too on my shift. Like, I had no choice. And yeah, I chased that poor 18-year-old down for almost a year, right? Yeah, I almost had him too. Shame on me. 40 years old playing games like that. Thank you for keeping me in my prayers, because I have been keeping you guys in my prayers too, even though I don't know who I'm praying to. But yeah, I threw out some good thoughts for a lot of you. Pat's here too. Oh, awesome, Pat, that you came in. Yeah, so what else is going on this week? If you follow me on Instagram, my whole week is going to be self-love, because I need it right now. Yeah, yeah, I need to feel the love there, and yeah, I do it for myself. I'm going to make all my posts are going to be all content surrounding that, right? Because it's very important, right? When you're not feeling good about yourself, or people are not feeling good about you, right? That you should you should try and build yourself up, right? Because if you don't build yourself up, you're building yourself down, right? And everybody has crappy days, so you need to do that for yourself. If you don't need it right at this minute, you do that for yourself, so that somewhere's down the road, when you do get hit with those crappy times, that you will be able to pull yourself up, right? I mean, look at the difference. Like, look at me, a year ago, even 2 years ago, like, holy moly, like at 18 years old, I look better now at 58 years old than when I did at 18, right? It sounds kind of sad, but at the same time, I'm not living in the past, so I really don't care what I look like at 18 years old at this present moment. I care what I look like right now, and I think I look pretty terrific. Yeah, I can't imagine when I've lost my last 10 or 15 pounds. I'm not sure if it's going to be, if I haven't weighed myself in a couple of weeks now, right? So I knew I only wanted to lose another 15 or so. So we'll see, right? When I go to my sister Carolyn's house and she's got a scale, I'll weigh myself. Or maybe it's time for me to go for a checkup, right? Maybe it's time for me to go for a checkup. When you hit this age, once a year, you should be going for those full checkups, just to make sure that everything is good, right? I know last year when I went, they took all kinds of blood tests and did all kinds of tests on me. I don't think there was anything wrong, but I think I was worried because I had the shingles a few months before that, right? So I just wanted to make sure that everything was good, right? And yeah, even the doctor looked at me. He says, "Perfect cholesterol." And he looks at me like, because I was really, really big, right? I think I was 230, almost 240 pounds a year ago, right? And if you asked me what I thought I looked like at that time, I wouldn't have thought that I weighed that much, right? Again, it's that perception, right? That you have. So yeah, it's important to take pictures of yourself every once in a while, just so that you can have a true idea of what you look like, right? I'm just going to close my notifications here. Yeah, Evan's channel popped up, and Ralph from Infinite Waters. I just love him. He's an absolute sweetie, and he's helped me out lots too, right? Yeah, shout out to Ralph. And holy moly, I guess he's and Trisha Paytas. Oh, I can't wait. I wonder if Trisha would love to meet me. You know what? If I sat down and had a chit chat with Trisha Paytas, she's been having some issues in the past year and stuff, I bet you I could help her out lots. I have ideas that that I can help people with post-traumatic stress disorder and PTSD. If you don't know what it is, it's traumatic experiences, right? Police get it, soldiers get it, paramedics, firefighters, even somebody who witnesses a bad accident. It's a terrible jolt to the nervous system, right? And it messes you up, and quite often it messes you up for your whole life. I know my husband was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, and it was probably one of the reasons that our marriage fell apart, right? But it's a terrible thing. But I also had a form of trauma, and it was called complex trauma. And what complex trauma is, it's when you have grow through your life and you end up having little tragedies and sadnesses and setbacks and just, and it just slowly builds up. Sometimes they call it small c, post-traumatic stress disorder, right? But it's actually complex. And yeah, I pulled myself out of that, right? All those traumatic experiences I had as a kid, and I grew up blaming everybody else, right? Not trying even to fix the problems, right? Because sometimes things are projected on us when we're kids that you don't think that there's a real cure. You just think, oh well, now you have a personality trait, right? That isn't healthy, but you don't think you could help that, right? And yeah, that's what I did, the past couple of years as I've been trying. I don't know how it got into my head that I thought that I could cure myself, right? Because, when I read like actual scientific, articles and stuff, right? And, there's a lot of suffering and a lot of work put into it just for a little bit of good results, right? I think halfway through last year, I realized what mindset, was doing for me. And I thought, what could mindset do? I know a lot of people use mindset, to put them in a state of mind to give them confidence to go out there and go for the jobs they want and to be successful and stuff, right? But in order to be successful, you have to feel good about yourself. So a lot of the lessons and stuff in mindset is on how to help yourself with these problems, right? That you have, so that you're able to go out and get those good jobs and make a living and have confidence in yourself, right? And and I was thinking, wow, why aren't they using it for trauma? Why is not mindset being used for trauma? In the next couple of generations, we are going to have so much trauma going on. There's so much going on in this world, right? There's bad leadership and bad environments and, children growing up with unhealthy, parents because they were dealing with their own trauma. So like, it's just going to be trauma after trauma after trauma. Why is nobody out there, right? Using mindset for trauma. I'm going to use mindset. Yeah. I'm going to bring out empaths. I am. I'm going for the biggest empaths in the world, the ones that aren't awake, right? The ones that have the worst trauma, right? Because they're the ones that can do the most to help the world. I believe that, right? Somebody helped me along the way. Lots of people helped me along the way, right? That was Evan's channel, but he was featuring some really, really smart people, right? That helped me lots. And I'll make sure that I give those opportunities to wish my thankfulness and my gratitude to those people that helped to bring me out of that condition that I had. And I hope there's a scientist or a doctor or a thought leader out there that bites onto that idea, right? And I hope even my subscribers, or anybody that happens onto this channel, because if you happen onto this video, right? If you happen onto it, there was a reason you happened onto it, right? Yeah, go look for mindset. Google it, right? You don't have to go with Evan Carmichael. There's so many people out there that do mindset. For me, it was a connection, right? That happened, and because I was consuming so much of his content, it makes sense in my brain that I would build a connection, right? So I'm willing to live my life with the connection like that, right? For the benefits that I'm going to receive, from that healing, right? It's something, I've been giving a lot of thought in that today. When I saw Seth Godin's video, I thought it was a sign. It was the very first video in mindset, right, that I stumbled onto. And then, and after I bumped into his video. I don't know if it was a YouTube channel or if it was somebody else. It was like a TEDx talks. He was doing an engagement anyway. But then I found Jordan Peterson, and then Jordan Peterson, I just felt like he felt like somebody my dad would listen to, right? My dad was very intellectual that way. My dad was an avid reader, right? And it was deep conversations with my dad. I think that's why my dad loved me so much, right? Because I could sit there and just talk to my dad for forever. He had so many different interests. And yeah, my dad was absolutely just fascinating. And yeah, it just snowballed. It just snowballed. And, I just come well, I didn't come to realize. I always knew that how important my homepage was, right? Because, I could stumble on to the right people, right? And subscribe to them, right? But, YouTube was suggesting some amazing people. I mean, it was YouTube. YouTube was stuffing Evan down my throat when I really did not want to watch his videos at all. I mean, for a couple of months, I'm sure, right? But I kept seeing that thumbnail, and I kept remembering him yelling at that poor guy on Tim's channel. And I actually today I went to try and find that first video because I didn't stay, I popped in. He was right in the middle of reaming somebody out, and I just got out of there just right away. I was so turned off, but I wanted to see that video. I wanted to see whether or not I would have that same reaction. And I found the series, right? But I just started watching it like maybe an hour. I only found it like an hour before I was supposed to go live. So there were 6 episodes, and each episode was a half hour long. So I knew there was no way I was going to find that video, right? So I may go back and well, I know I will, because now I'm really curious to see if I would have the same reaction now as I did that day, right? But I do remember I was adamant that I didn't want to watch any of his content. And yeah, now I think he's the greatest thing since apple pie. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna stop raving about somebody. And yeah, so I do meditate, and because I'm doing these little prayers. This is a stone. Look at that. Isn't that just the most perfect prayer stone? Look at the shape of that. Yeah, I was cleaning out the car, and I guess when I was off to Toronto, I found it, right? It was such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stone. It was a river stone, right? And yeah, I snagged onto it. I wanted to have it, right? But now if I meditate and stuff, right, and I hold it like that, right? And then after I finish meditating, I pull the stone away, and I can actually see my sweat is like dripping down this little crack here. Just kind of like it could just almost just like make a drop at the bottom, right? So then I just go wash my rock and let it dry and bring it back here for my next meditation. I used to sit in my bed and meditate real nice and cozy, because I keep my window open and I like the breeze coming in. But I really like meditating in my chair now, right? And I'm doing I think they call it Reiki meditations, right? And Reiki healing now, and it's been helping out lots, right? Okay, now let's look at the comments. If you want to say hi or something, now would be a good time to do that, because now you guys got my attention. I'm just going to back up here before I roll down, and everybody pop in. Oh, if you would give me a thumbs up, if you give me a thumbs up, maybe YouTube would kind of shoot my video out there, because it is important. I think I said enough tonight that if that information got to somebody, that maybe they could check into it themselves and set themselves on an own path, right? I would have loved to have seen Andrew and Owen, start doing the mindset videos. William too. William, he pops in the morning to say hi to me and stuff. And I have this thing where, I'll say, oh, what are you doing today? What good thing are you going to do today? And, I make these little challenges for him and stuff. And, now he's super involved with his church, right? He's really, really doing good. And you can tell now with his chit chats, like he thinks I'm coming on shortly. So I'm sure William's going to be here soon, but he chats just as much as Andrew does now. And William never really chatted at all before, right? Yeah. So William's doing really, really good. Like so many of my viewers are doing so well. But I would like to see some of you go on to mindset and just pick a topic. If you're in my Instagram, the topics are like courage and love and respect and self-worth and self-love and motivation, a lot of motivational. Like that was basically what I was looking for when I was falling apart, right? I was looking to grasp onto something that would help me to stay with it, right? Because my YouTube channel was everything to me, I loved my YouTube channel. I still love my YouTube channel, right? But there's lots of other things I love too. I recently discovered that I'm actually a pretty good writer. Yeah. If you watch or read any of my posts on Instagram, they're like little stories, and I'll pick a topic too, right? So I'm doing my own version of mindset. I want people out there to realize there are so many people out there suffering from, PTSD and complex trauma. And, INFJs are notorious, right? If you do personality tests, anybody out there, just Google's 16 personalities and do the test, right? To find out, what your personality type is, right? Because if you are an INFJ, more than likely, you would have traumatic experiences in your life, right? And empaths, right? Empaths too. It's a lot of trauma. Oh, and I also, I didn't know that there were different levels of empaths. Like I knew empaths were different, right? But I just assumed that empaths had the same qualities and the same strengths and the same, what do you call that? Gifts, right? That I had, right? And that's not the case. That's not the case at all. And I'm still on that one. I'm pretty close, but for now we'll just keep that with Cindy. Okay, so thank you, Andrew. I'm very pleased with the weight loss. Like I said, it's I'm almost at the weight that I want to be at. I like a figure. I like a little bit of, I like the fullness, right? And I know a lot of guys, they like, the guys I've had interaction with, they like a little bit too, right? Because, then you don't feel like you're hurting somebody physically, right? But I don't have my YouTube channel. They now have laws that you have to say whether the content is for children or adults, right? So now I can feel a little bit more comfortable about talking about certain things, right? But I was just always worried that, because I always thought that, I wanted to help the children, right? That I wanted to help the children with complex trauma, right? And, children that were abused as kids, like, those are the ones that grab my heart, right? Because I was that kid that was neglected and abused and taunted and bullied and made to feel like unworthy, right? Like I was that person. I know I could help those people lots, right? So I thought those were the people, that I would be helping would be the children, but I was worried because, there's certain things you can't talk about on YouTube, and, kids themselves, what it's like. Your kids don't listen to you. I'm 58 years old. What kid is going to look at me and say, "Oh, I'm going to follow her because she knows what she's talking about." No, they look at older people going, "Oh, that's just, that's the way it was when they were in their day and age," right? That was that generation, right? So, the other idea I thought was, well, maybe I'll just, get myself into a position where I could hire, young adults, 18, 19-year-olds that would be able to relate with those kids and then maybe draw the kids in that way. That's not what my goal is. My goal is actually to help people, older adults, right? Parents who are struggling, or people who are out there, not being able to hold on to jobs, right? Like I used to hold on to my jobs for 10, 15 years, right? Like I 5, 10, 12 years I was at the bar. Like I'd stay at my jobs for a long time, but when I started it wasn't even when I started my YouTube channel, because I started my YouTube channel the same time as when my mother passed away, right? So I think my mother passing away gave me that freedom, and it put me in a point where I wasn't going to take it from anybody anymore. So when I had these jobs and, people would not treat me well, or would have moments with me and stuff, right? I would feel them, and instead of trying to appease them, I would just leave these jobs. So it got to the point where I just couldn't keep a job anymore, right? And then it got to the point where I didn't even want to work for anybody anymore, right? I just wanted to work on myself, right? I just wanted to get better because I could see that it was working, right? And yeah, I'm ready to get back to work now. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I know I'm going to be doing something. I'm not quite sure what, but whatever it is that I pick to do, it's going to be something I enjoy. That's for sure. Yeah, I'm going to enjoy whatever job I take. So yeah, that's the plan. And I have no choice at this point. Everything is crashing. I'm really actually quite surprised that my internet is still there. It actually got cut off the other day, but when I got up in the morning, it was on again. So I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to be grateful and accept that I still have my internet. But I do have my phone, and I did give one of my sisters, the last of my money so that I can tie off as much as I can. So at the very least, I get to keep my phone. At the end of the month, I have I have a few $100s coming in, and hopefully I could find a place. I should be able to find a place where I can roommate, right? And then I'm just going to sell everything I have. Everything can go, except I made a little list, a couple of pictures and 2 big boxes. I'm going to keep my computer, right? And I love my microphone, even though I came very, very close to selling it, right? But yeah, I'm glad. Oh, I hope everybody can hear me. I didn't even have my microphone. Can you guys hear me okay tonight? I'm so sorry. I didn't even pull my microphone close to me. Shame on me. Okay, so conservative. So conservative means that you wouldn't accept homosexuals, right? Same sexes. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm a true believer that it takes all kinds to make the world, right? It takes all kinds, and you should be able to be yourself, right? and I just love it, like, when I have these conversations with Owen and Andrew, right? Like I know they're themselves, right? They don't try to be anybody else. Those are the kind of people I like, right? There's no surprises, right? Nobody's being sneaky and keeping things from you. And yeah, I don't like sneaky, because when I meet something, I'm very decisive right away. I'm usually very very, very decisive, right? I trust my judgment. I always have, right? Like I've always had that part of me that knew better. I mean, yeah. I mean, I got to mindset, somehow, right? And that was, me using a little bit of that, right? I've always been that way a little bit, right? But yeah, then I opened up and then I opened up, and yeah, this week it's a totally different story. Really? If you're in Germany and on welfare, you're not allowed to have a physical? That's so sad. Yeah, everybody should be entitled to, here in Manitoba, you don't pay for your medical. And we have some of the best scientists and doctors in Canada here in Manitoba. And yeah, I mean, of course, budgets are tight. I see, different plans of actions and stuff, like I know, they cut back on nursing and stuff like that, right? But you really, really, to have that opportunity, like if I wanted to go to the doctor, I could walk into a walk-in clinic tomorrow and be taken care of, right? Yeah. And that's exactly what it is, Andrew. Mindset will help you out with that. You won't believe the person that you can change. It only took me 2 years. I swear, I found mindset 2 years ago, right? So it only took, and I was in a bad state. Well, you can tell. Another aspect of being an empath is that you have a tendency to be big, right? It's a compulsive. It's how you control your emotions is with addictions, right? And yeah, food was a big addiction of mine, and I had quite a few. I mean, not addictions, but I had quite a few bad habits. Addictions I would pick up and then I would let go. And I did that all my life, right? I would lose interest and, I'd pick up a bad habit and I would do it for a while and then I would stop. Like there was a time where I was addicted to Hall's cough drops, right? And man, I'm surprised I didn't get a stomach ulcer for the amount of acid. Like I would crunch on those things. I'd go through like at least 4 packages of Halls every single day. And I crunched them. I didn't suck on Halls. I just like, yeah, that was just one, right? I had a gastric bypass, right? It was the first time I lost weight, just before I got married. And I didn't really realize because my surgeon actually retired right after I had the operation. So I just kind of, lost the weight on my own. I did get referred to another doctor, right, when he retired. But, when I went to the doctor wanted me to explain what the operation was, right? And I said, well, if you don't know, I'm certainly not going to let you take care of me. So I just kind of did a couple of Googles and remembered that my doctor told me to make sure you take your B12 and make sure you go for your blood tests every year. And, that's all I remembered, right? And so I just took care of myself and I lost the weight myself. And it was really hard on me, right? Because my hair went bad, my skin went bad, my skin was always bad. My skin is better now, right? It's wrinkly, right? Nothing that a little facelift wouldn't hurt, but even in my 40s, and even into my early 50s, I had a serious acne problem. I would cover it up with makeup. Lots of times I don't even wear makeup anymore. I used to not even go into public without makeup on. Now I don't even care. And it's not an age thing, right? Because I don't feel my age, right? So if I don't feel my age, then I should feel that I should still need to be applying on that makeup. But yeah, I haven't had a pimple in, I couldn't even tell you when the last pimple I had was. Maybe I had a pimple last year. Maybe. I don't know. I never, lots of those things, right? They just kind of disappeared without me even noticing. And that was mindset. That was mindset, you know. If there's anybody out there, you know, that suffered like I did as a child, right? You know, maybe you don't want to use it as a career, right? I thought the whole time that I was doing mindset, it was to keep me going on my YouTube channel, right? But the way I started hungering for it, right? Then I knew I needed it, right? And then my emotional well-being became the most important part, right? And yeah, I know I can't be a psychiatrist or a therapist or anything like that because I don't have, any kind of credentials, and I'm definitely too old and I have no interest in going back to school, right? But I would definitely like to counsel it. I think I would be absolutely amazing because I went through it. I experienced all of that, right? And because those are the people, because of the way I feel about myself and what I know I can contribute now, I know there are lots of people out there even stronger than I am, right? That are even capable of being even in more in touch and might not have the blocks that I had, right? That would make it possible for them to be super, super successful in life, right? You know? Yeah. Yeah. I didn't think there was any hope, right? Even maybe up to a couple of months ago, there was still a little bit of a doubt in me, right? That I could do that, right? And I don't know why I'm even talking like this, right? Because like my financial situation has not been worse. I can't even remember a time that it was in a worse situation than I am in right now. And I'm not even giving it any thought. Hmm. Maybe I should give that some thought. Okay, let's get into some comments again. Isn't that something? I do understand about limiting elderly to to the healthcare, right? I think that if you get into a like a home, right? When you go into assisted living and stuff, that maybe there could be an on-site doctor for those. But being free medical here, it would be quite easy for the elderly because, they lose their spouses, tragedy again, traumatic experiences happen, right? That makes it so that they're sad and lonely. And then sometimes, the only thing they can do is go see a doctor just to have an outing, right? Just to make them feel better, give them a little bit of confidence that they're health wise, that maybe they're still okay, right? It's just a matter of that they're lonely. So I can see how it's limited, but nobody should ever be denied medical care if they need it, right? Because like I said here, in Manitoba, your mental well-being is just as important as your physical well-being. Yeah, Manitoba should promote mindset for sure. No question. Yeah, mindset matters. Yeah, there's a good hashtag, mindset matters. I use that hashtag all the time. So if you punch in mindset matters or just even mindset, right? Lots of content will come out. And yeah, start working on yourselves because I know YouTube is going to get those people to my channel, right? We'll get people to even this live video that I will post as a regular video once it's over, right? That again, if you happened on to this content, right? There was a reason you happened onto it. Have a great night, Pat. You're right there, Andrew. You have to be brave enough, right? I had to be brave enough, right? My sister was taking care of me, right? I was biting the hand that was feeding me, and I was willing to do that, right? I had best friends tell me I had psychological problems, right? I mean, if you got to decide for yourself what's most important, right? Do you really care? I mean, if somebody's going to treat you like that or say things like that to you, do you need that, right? You're an individual. You know what you need, right? So if they want to say that, I say, oh, well, right? Oh, well, you have to move on. You can't have those kind of people. You can't have those people in your life. And I think that was probably another reason, right? Because, I used to be a social butterfly. I was the queen bee for 12 years at the bar I worked at, right? I knew everybody in the neighborhood. I was a very social person. And then when my marriage fell apart, I just slowly, at first I tried to maintain that, right? I just thought maybe I would just jump into another relationship right away and, find myself husband number 2 because I didn't think I could be by myself, right? But yeah, I slowly started losing myself and losing my friends. And yeah, I got myself in a sad state and, started working at those crappy jobs. And then my mother died. And then those crappy jobs became short, crappy jobs. And then I found my YouTube channel. And then when I found my YouTube channel, it went really well for a little while, right? Because I had money, I had paychecks coming in every couple of weeks, and I was able to go off and go exploring, and so when I was outdoors and I got out into the road, well, then I was out in nature, right? And being out there brought something out in me, right? So it's very important for everybody to get outside. And if you physically can't get outside, I would say, like, can you open up the kitchen window? I have a chair here by my kitchen window. And in the mornings, like right now, I have a routine, but, I used to open up that kitchen window and have my cup of coffee in the morning and just let the breeze blow into my face, right? So it's important to get fresh air and to feel the nature somehow. You might even, I haven't tried, but maybe you can even get that feeling by watching, wildlife shows on YouTube and stuff. I mean, it's possible. I mean, I get Reiki healings through my YouTube channel, right? So why wouldn't you be able to get those same feelings of being outdoors, right? By just, watching YouTube videos, right? Yeah, National Geographics. Yeah. Oh, well, that's good. Medicare. I don't think I'm there yet, but I don't take any medication at all, right? Like I've never taken. I took cream for my shingles. They gave me a medication for my shingles, and then of course, when I was in the hospital, for my gastric bypass, and then of course, you lose all that weight. Now you need plastic surgeries, right? So, and they don't do the surgeries all at once because they want to make sure that you're proportioned. So each surgery is a separate surgery. So of course you have to take medications, right, for a few days at the very least when you have those operations. Otherwise that gastric bypass, they had all my vital organs out of my body when they did that one. They cut off, they took out my entire small intestine and part of my stomach. My stomach was only like that big, right? Yeah, and that first time I lost 180 pounds. No, 160 pounds. I lost 160 pounds in 8 months. Yeah, it was drastic. I had a, I went when they did my tummy tuck, like that was 13 pounds. No, sorry, 11 pounds of loose skin that they took off of me. Yeah. I always find myself that I'm correcting myself now, right? Because if I shoot out a number and in that split second, I'll remember what the true number is, then I have to correct myself right away, right? Because I'm really, really trying my hardest not to lie, right? Because I used to be, it was a trait that I had, and it's very, very common too, right? Because when I was a kid, nobody wanted me around. Nobody wanted to do anything nice for me unless it was out of pity, right? You know, so you learn to manipulate, right? To get what you want, right? So if somebody is if you know that you can get something by making people feel sorry for you, well, of course, right? I would manipulate that, right? And I became a master, and I think that's probably why marketers and stuff, they like people like me, right? Because we have those talents, right? But if you're going to do it sneakily, right, and you're going to use it for your own benefit, right? And I did well into my adulthood. I mean, that's how I got by. It's how I got by. That's how I got by at work. That's how I got by in my relationships, right? Well, maybe not my husband, really. My husband was like me, right? But not as open. But he was very kind, big hearted guy, right? And again, it was those pheromones that I was attracted to, and I spotted that, and yeah, I snagged onto a good one. And but then being with me, of course, you got no choice but to heal, right? So when he was healed up, well, he didn't feel the same about me anymore, because he didn't have what he was actually with me for, right? It was the feeling that I was giving him, and he was feeling good. And then once he healed, he was gone, right? But it was a hard breakup, because for 10 years back and forth, he would fly here and make promises, and I was clinging on, and I had a tubal pregnancy, right? And my fallopian tube exploded. Oh, I forgot about that one too. Yeah. And I almost died, right? I was in the hospital for 3 weeks, and I almost died, and he didn't even know. He didn't even seem to care, right? So yeah, when he called me, I just told him, you don't ever phone me again. Don't ever speak to me again, right? And yeah, I never heard from him again. Like for 10 years, we clung to each other, right? And yeah, and then I told him I never wanted to speak to him again. And yeah, he kept me at my word. And at the moment, I was heartbroken, right? Because I really, wanted to cling. Like my husband, even when we were separated, he was everything to me, right? He was everything. He was just such a kind person, right? That and he was the first person besides my dad who truly, I felt, loved me, right? Like I knew he loved me. Like he loved me. Like a couple of days after I met him, he was mad for me, and he actually moved in with me the very next day, right? I was working at the bar. Want to hear a love story? I was working at the bar, and the girls would say, when I started waitressing, they'd say, Cindy, you stay out of the corner. And that corner over there was the army guys, right? And stay out of the corner. Don't go out with any of those guys in there, because you'll get yourself a name, right? If you go out with any of those guys, right? So every once in a while, I would go out with them, but it would just be like a date or something, right? Like, it was nothing ever, anything serious or anything. But, that my husband, he'd come in and he'd give me a $20 tip for a bottle of beer. And, and he'd always say, oh, what are you doing after work? Want to go for coffee? Just those lines, right? And I knew he didn't want to go for coffee, right? And and I would just know it, and I would just say, "Oh no, I don't think so." I get off at 6 o'clock in the morning, but he did that a couple of times. When he'd come in, he'd come directly to me, order his beer, and he would ask me out, right? And then he said, "Well, Cindy, really, really, we can go for a coffee." And I said, "No." Shot him down again because the girls were telling me, don't go out with those guys, right? And he was a good looking man. He was a big handlebar, mustaches, blonde, flat top. He was a good looking guy and funny. And yeah, I was just as attracted. Like I said, he was the same as me. So I was just as attracted to him as he was to me, right? So I never saw him for 2 months, right? He never came back, but I thought about him, right? He was on my mind. It was just, I couldn't stop thinking about him, right? And I didn't know why I kept thinking about him, but I did. And I felt bad that I had chased the one I wanted. I chased him away. That I felt bad that I didn't say, okay, let's go for a coffee, because there was an all night coffee shop close by. I would have made him, go for a real coffee, right? But 2 months later, I didn't understand about the Army. Like I said, I wasn't hanging out in the corner, right? But they would go away for months at a time to work in the fields, right? To train in the military in the fields. And after a couple of months, he walked in and I saw him. I was at the bar and he was way across, and I had a tray full of drinks and my tray of money, my money tray was sitting there too. And I just dropped it on a table. I just didn't care. And I ran straight into his arms. I ran. I never did anything like that. I just ran. He picked me up and he hugged and he kissed me and he was so happy to see me. And yeah, but of course he just got out of the field. So he's partying with the Army guys, because that's what they did when they came out of the field. The first thing he did was come to the bar, and it was just like great big bar party. And then they would pick up their girls for the evenings and go off home to base or whatever. And, at the end of the night, I kept an eye on him. And, I wanted to see, if he was going to go and pick somebody up, right? But he didn't seem like he was paying anybody any attention. And at the end of the night, he came right up to me, right? And he says, "Cindy, really, really, let's go for coffee. Really, I'll go for coffee. I'll be good. We'll just go for coffee." And I looked at him and I said, "Okay, wait a second." And I went and I grabbed a little piece of paper and a pen, and I wrote my name on, well, he knew my name, wrote my name, and I wrote my address on it. I kept it. I came across it the other day in a photo album, right? And I handed him this little piece of paper, and I handed him my house keys. And I says, "Well, it's going to take me a couple hours to clean up here, but yeah, here's my house keys. Here's my address. Yeah, see you when I get home." And he moved in with me the very next day. We were engaged within 6 months. Then he went on tour to Croatia. He came home. He got post-traumatic stress disorder, but he didn't tell me, right? He didn't say anything to me. He kept it to himself. And that's what they do, right? Is because, when you're in the military, you don't want to show weakness. It's a sign of weakness, right? To reveal that you have issues. And, I'm sure because he loved his job too, that I don't think I think maybe that he thought that maybe he would lose his job if he sought out help, or in some way it would make him look weak, right? So, I never even caught on. I never even caught on until after we were separated. I didn't find out, right? Because, then I found out he's seeing doctors on bases, and, then he admitted to me what happened and everything. And I just oh, well, I was your wife. You could have talked to me, right, about it, right? But it was a good life. It was a really good marriage right up to within hours of it being over. Yeah, it was meant to happen that way. It was time, right? Yeah. But that's what post-traumatic stress disorder does to you. That's what traumatic experiences do to you. And yeah, and if doctors can't help you and therapists can't help you, right? Try mindset. Maybe mindset will help you. It helped me out lots, right? There was a time where I would never have told that story. And if I did tell that story, I would tell that story totally bawling my eyes out and in a total mess. And then I would beat myself up. It would take me days to come out of it, right? And look at me. Look at me. Like, I just used the last 3 eggs in my fridge. That's it. That's it. I got a few cans of soup. And that's it, right? But I'm not even worried about it. Like, I'm excited. I'm excited about the challenge. And yeah, I'm excited even if I have to go for food without a couple of days. I mean, let's get those last few pounds gone, right? Let's get all that done. And I want you guys to see, right? Like, I'm going to make sure that I keep you guys updated and that you guys see exactly how I put my life back together, right? Yeah, I'm going to do a really, really good job at it. And when I do, then I'm going to start pulling other people up behind me. Yeah. And I hope some of you too, find that little bit of healthiness for yourself, right? Oh, and Andrew, this is incredible. Andrew, last week after my live show, if that okay, you know what I'm going to say, Andrew. I'm just going to wait until Andrew gives me the okay to say what he did for me last weekend. Okay, he's good with it. After my live show last Sunday, Andrew came right in. Andrew has my email, right? We have good conversations. Me and Andrew are really, really close, right? I consider Andrew a very dear friend. And last Sunday, and he's in no better shape than me, right? And he offered to send me some money. He offered to invest in me, to help me get back on my feet. He did that for me. I cried my eyes out, right? I couldn't believe that somebody who's never physically met me. I mean, we've written letters and we've talked online and stuff, but, to think that somebody like that, actually cared about me. I'm sorry, this is supposed to be happy, right? But Andrew is in no better situation than I am. And he was willing to give me the last few pennies that he had to get me back on my feet. Of course, no, I wasn't going to take 1 cent of that. But, I was very thankful. I told him so. I was so thankful that he was actually willing to just, stand by me as I go through all this crap, and put myself back on my feet. Right. And yeah, I was so touched, Andrew. Like, I'm so thankful that you found my channel and that you support me. And William's here too. William, we talked about you a little bit earlier on. You might want to rewind it. And yeah, I started my live a little bit earlier today, right? Because I do want to go for a walk tonight. But William just got here, so we're just going to hang out for a little bit. Okay, you guys. Self-love is the topic for next week on my Instagram. And if anything exciting happens to me this week, because I'm feeling stuff, I am feeling stuff. So anything exciting happens, I will be sure to let you know. And I know you guys were. I just wanted to share that about Andrew, just so you guys know how amazing of a crew that I actually have, right? Like how amazing of a crew that I actually have, like to do that for me, right? To do that for somebody that you've never physically met. Like I've never met Andrew, right? I've never been down to Indiana, but I certainly know if I ever make it, I am going to Indiana and I'm going to come see a few of you guys, right? Yeah. You came through this all with me. Like you stuck with me all through that crazy. And I know some of you probably think I'm crazy still, but you know what? I can live with that. I don't care what other people think. It's what I think about myself now, right? I want to surround myself with positive people. I'm done, with, and I was just repeating, at my birthday, my sister took me out, right? And I just got back from Toronto, and she was livid. She was absolutely just livid with me, right? And yeah, but I had to do it. This was what I had to do for myself. There wasn't any choice in me except to take off to Toronto, right? And yeah, and a week later or a couple of weeks later, it's my birthday came up, and my sister, she took me out, and she bought my groceries for me. She bought me a new winter coat, and she did a few really, really wonderful, sweet, thoughtful things for me, that day. And yeah, it broke my heart, right? Because I felt so much shame. I felt like I wasn't being truthful to myself, and I wasn't being truthful to her, that and it was true. She felt that I was using her to have a good life, and that wasn't the case. I was relying on her, but I was trying my best not to use her, right? But I was relying on her because I didn't have anybody else to rely on. And I had a mission. I had to do what I had to do, right? And I was grasping at whatever, what do you call those life jackets that were dangling? I was grabbing for those, right? And if she was willing to help me out, I was going to take it. But the shame I felt on my birthday, nobody should feel shame on their birthday, but I felt a lot of shame that day. But, I'm very thankful for the winter coat. I love my new winter coat, and it looks really terrific on me, and I'm going to get lots of use out of it this winter, right? And there are no hard feelings, and I hope she, forgives me somewheres down the road, right? But I had to take care of myself. I was keeping things inside just for the love of my family, right? I was keeping some life experiences, like private family matters. And I felt all over again, my mom saying, don't discuss our problems, keep it in the family, and yeah, I felt that, right? I felt that. And that's why I never talked about it, right? Because I just felt it every day. And I knew I wasn't going to move on, right? Because it was my biggest fear was being rejected by my sisters, right? I was very lucky that my sister Carolyn just totally understands me like never before. Our relationship is more stronger than it has ever been, right? But yeah, my sister Tracy, yeah, it for some reason she couldn't get past it, and I couldn't stay. Because I didn't know how to block. I didn't know how to block that kind of energy. That was, and and at the same time, she's an executive, and she was a salesperson too, so she knows how to manipulate, right? So she's using every tactic in the book to sway me back, but I wasn't having none of it. I had come too far. I was having none of that, right? There is no going backwards for me, not a chance. And if she thinks I was strange, then just wait. It's going to get stranger and stranger. But you know what? This doesn't change, right? This doesn't change. This might change. The way I dress might change. The way I look might change. The attitude might change. But what's inside is that's my family, right? It is what it is, right? Oh, I know it'll work out okay. And if nothing else, if they never speak to me again or anything, I know that my mother was waiting to get into heaven, and I know she would not have gotten into heaven if I didn't do what I did, right? My mother needed that healing and that forgiveness just as much as I did, right? So now my mother can go off and feel fine that, that all is forgiven, and, that I wish her well in the next life, if it's the next life that she's going for, or if she's just going to, rest in peace, right? go to heaven. My mother believed in God. She did lots of denominations, right? My mother, she believed in God, but I think she was always on a search for her own denomination, right? Because she attended and we attended so many different churches, right? But yeah, I'm sure my mother was waiting to go to heaven, and I'm sure what she had done had to have held her back. There's no way that I'm sorry, there was no way that anybody would have let her into heaven for what she had done to me. Unintentionally, right? She was hurting. She was just as hurt, right? But I didn't understand it at the time. At the time, I was a hurt teenager, only thinking about myself. I didn't consider what she had gone through, right? So maybe I might have been a little bit more understanding on her behalf if I had, because I knew what she had gone through, right? Like I knew, but I don't know if I knew how it impacted her, right? Yeah. But that's that. Okay. Now truly, let's end this on happy, okay? Somebody shoot something, and then I will carry on a story with a happy, funny story. And yeah, and then Cindy can go off and put on her snow pants and bundle up nice and warm, and yeah, maybe go for a coffee because I haven't had a coffee. I'm ready for a coffee. I didn't even drink this tea. Yeah, it's got a big piece of film on it. I don't even want to drink it. Yeah. But yeah, you get those cards where you get the stickers at McDonald's, right? And you fill it up. Yeah, but it's dollar coffee all week. Yeah. So off for coffee, go for a walk. And thank you. And I do, and I would just like to know, if God is Buddha, right? Is God a Christian, right? Is he Jew? Is it a Jewish religion? I don't know, right? Is it Muslim? Is it Sikh, right? I've been curious that, I always thought that the owl was my spirit animal because I love owls, right? And they're so beautiful. And I used to always stop and I would subscribe to people who had owl channels and stuff. Like I really love the owl, right? And yeah, I don't think my spirit animal anymore is an owl. I don't know what it is. It's something from a body of water. And like I said on Instagram, I hope it's not a whale. Wouldn't that be a sad mental imprint on me, right? Because I was so big and I had the nickname whale I had lots of nicknames. I had secondhander because my mother used to buy my clothes at the secondhand stores. So the kids found out, they called me secondhander. And then I had boat, and I'd walk down that was the worst one because it was all the good looking guys when I was right into the guys and stuff, and they'd be lining up along the lockers and stuff. And I would walk by just dreading it. Right. And, I just knowing, and they'd go, boom. Right. And they gave me the nickname boat. Oh, I just hated that. I just hated that. Yeah. I had lots of, and I had whale and, because my last name was Coe, right? C-O-E. My last name was Coe. And they called me Cindy Cow. Hated it. Yeah. And because I was so big too, right? I was always getting beaten up, right? Because all the little kids and stuff, they would all think, oh, I'll just take Cindy on, right? I'll just beat her up and that'll make me feel like I'm a big person, a big shot or whatever, right? So I always had people wanting to fight me all the time, right? And, I wasn't a very good fighter. I was really good at avoidance, though. Very good at avoidance. Yeah. Oh, Andrew, you know what? I'm going to come back and I'm going to write that down. Oh, Mrs. C48, holy moly. We have not seen you for a while. How are you doing? Holy moly, I'm so happy to see you. Yeah, it's my mindset diet. Yeah, maybe I need to write a mindset cookbook. Wouldn't that be awesome? Mind you, it wasn't. Well, it was pretty healthy. I was just eating meat and vegetables, but I think it was my motivational videos, my mindset videos that kept me on my diet, right? Just like, yeah, I just have no interest in eating those tons of food. I was actually thinking, well, I don't know if my sister's going to come over for Christmas Eve because I'm not going anywhere as near. And I told her, like, I don't know if she believed me, but if she's watching this, because I know my sister is one of those people that stalk me online, right? But my sister, you know, I don't know if she'll come here for Christmas, right? Because she knows I'm not going to be around that negative emotional feeling anymore, right? And I wish her all the best. And I tried the week before you when I just said that was it. I told her, I left messages and wrote little notes and left them in pages of books. And I actually posted videos to my Facebook and my Twitter because I know she follows me, tracks me on those spots. So I send them out there saying, hey, mostly the narcissist stuff, right? Right. But yeah, I might have done some good with her husband though. Her husband, last couple of times I was at their house, like he was very supportive of me. Like he's never been that way. He's never done anything except drill into me and make me feel bad, like never ever. And he actually supported me twice in 1 week in a conversation that I was having with my sister. So it makes me wonder if he's bettering himself too, right? But it doesn't matter because if you can't get over your addictions, right? Then my sister's coming home to somebody that she that's not really there, right? You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. That's not my business. That's their business, and I'm going to keep myself out. I did my best, and I knew I shouldn't have, right? I knew it was all going to backfire in my face. I knew it was going to, but that was my sister, right? Like I had to give it a try, right? And in the end, all she said was, "Oh, you're only saying that so that you can come in and move in with me," and which was not even a thought in my brain, right? Because yeah, I would never, not in a million years, move into that household. Oh yes, I'm doing my live this Christmas Eve. There is no question about that one. We have the best time, and it's been a tradition now. This is going to be my fifth year with my lives. Is it my fifth year or my fourth year? I don't know, but it's now a tradition, and we're going to make it this year. We'll make it a pajama party for Christmas Eve, everybody. Christmas Eve is a pajama party this year. Sorry, my bum is. I've been sitting on this pillow, right? Because I think that I'm not sitting high enough. Oh, I am sitting high enough. Okay, that's a lot better. My bum was getting sore from sitting on that pillow. But yeah, Christmas Eve we will do our live, and it'll be a pajama party this year. And um the dieting part of it, like I don't want to come off my diet. I'm doing so amazing on it, but I know that I'm going to have to, right, in order to stay healthy. But I think what I'll do is I'm going to make Christmas Eve and Christmas Day a treat day, and then I'm going to do a treat day once a week where I can start introducing the foods that I love, right? And that I miss. I haven't been thinking of the donuts like when I was on my diet, up until maybe a month ago, I was constantly thinking of those iced donuts with the sprinkles on top, right? With all the colors and everything. Like I'm a big kid at heart, right? Like I like lots of like when I have birthdays, my sister put birthdays on for me and stuff. Like I always want hot dogs and I want the balloons and I want the kitty birthday cake with candles and yeah. So yeah, I'm just a big kid that way, right? And I think that's because I would have really liked to have had more than that, more of that as a child, right? So now as an adult, that's what I want, right? Because my intuition told me that I needed to study. I went on a 360 turn and I was coming back to go to work when I was coming back from Minneapolis this spring. And every time I went out trying to look for work, something bad would happen. And my intuition was so strong. It set me on, like, every time I tried to come out of the study of learning the mindset and learning what I needed to learn, because I was changing my content. I was going from urban exploring to mindset. I didn't know about mindset up until that point, right? Like I was watching those videos of Evans and stuff, right? But it didn't really connect. I was still in my mind that I wanted to be, an entrepreneur or a marketer. That was what was on my mind, right? It wasn't a healing, right? But when I came back, something happened to me that made it so that I had to immediately do a 360, and it wasn't even a choice for me. I didn't have a choice. It was, and I got a block. I was blocked. I had no choice. So I hope that answers your question, my YouTube, because it was just as strange to me, right? Because I could have looked for work, and I would go online and I would throw resumes and stuff up there, but I wasn't even getting any calls or anything. And even in that, it was strange, right? Because lots of times I would send resumes out there or hand in resumes. I would at least get an interview, but I wasn't even getting interviews. And then it got to the point where I'd getting so close to where I was actually going to break from that old part of me that it became absolutely impossible. Like emotionally, it was impossible for me to even look for work. Now, this week, and actually just in the past couple of days, that's all changed for me. But at the same time that it's changed for me, I am not settling for any less than a job that I'll be happy at, right? I will take something temporary, right? But it would have to be, maybe a little contract, short-term contract jobs, or maybe I can find something independent. But that is definitely the plan. I mean, tomorrow is Monday. I mean, like I said, it's only been the past couple of days that this itch that I need to pull into it again. But yeah, all my action was put into my studying. Yeah, it was all put in there. Me to the point where I am right now, no question, would not have happened if I did not make that change 6 months ago, right? That's how unaware I was. I was so unaware. But, at the same time, there was something, right? There was something that was trying to talk to me, and there was something I was kind of following, but it was just in little increments, right? Everything just seemed to be in little increments. And yeah, so I hope that answers your question on that one. Yeah, because that contributed to my shame, right? And to me feeling bad because I knew I had to be out there. I knew that I had to be that person to put a roof over my own head. And yet I couldn't, right? I was shut down. The only thing I could do was study and try to emotionally bring myself out of it. And you know what? I would not be where I am right now. If I had been working, I would not have been able to do as much studying as I did. I did at least 8 hours a day, like a full-time job's worth of studying every day, right? Every day. Yeah. And I answered that question because it was a question that I had myself, right? And, and I'm sure my sisters, you know, wonder why. But yeah, it was a block. I don't know where the block came from, if it came from me or if it came from out there or or if it was just fear in itself, right? Because I was just a mix of all those emotions, right? Yeah. But yeah. I appreciate that, Andrew. All the help I can get is more than welcome. For sure it is. And I most definitely will reciprocate, right? But pajama party, Christmas Eve, isn't that a great day to do a pajama party? And we'll do 7 o'clock again. Yeah, we'll do 7 o'clock like we always do. We'll do seven and we'll just keep going until it's time to go to bed, right? And yeah, so everybody think of some good stories and yeah, it will be fun. Maybe we can bring somebody on too. Wouldn't that be fun? And that's what we're doing, Christmas Eve party. So yeah, Owen. So when I do my live chatters, right, to right up to Christmas, that would be appreciated if you could let everybody know about the pajama party and the Christmas party. Because I know we have our regulars that come every year, right? But every year we also get a few new ones that join our party. So yeah, if you just keep mentioning it, in the lives, then yeah, maybe we can get a really good one going on this year. Yeah, I'll have to get a cute pair of pajamas, something decent. Oh, I got lots of pretty flannels too, right? And I like my flannel nightgowns. Maybe I'll get a red plaid pair of pajamas. Oh yes, I love red plaid. I love red plaid for fabric. Red plaid is probably one of my favorites. I would love a little red plaid mini skirt, not like mini skirt, but like a little short one where I could wear a nice black jacket with it, a pair of black tights. Oh, that would look so nice. I see the outfit in my mind already. Yeah. Oh, William, for sure you will. Do you celebrate Christmas Eve with your family, William? Yeah, because I know lots of people, they celebrate Christmas here in Canada. They'll celebrate Christmas Eve with one family and then they'll celebrate Christmas Day with another, right? Yeah. I just always went to my sister's for Christmas, right? And I'll go for Christmas this year, excuse me. I'll go for Christmas this year, but only if it's happy, right? Like it was a really nice Thanksgiving this year, right? But my sister cranked from the moment I walked in the door to the moment I left. She didn't stop, right? And she kept apologizing too, which isn't fair to her. I mean, that's her household. If she wants to crank the whole time, that's up to her. That's her household, right? And she's working hard and she didn't know how to slow down. And yeah, but yeah, it makes it hard, right? And yeah. Oh well. Hopefully this Christmas will be much better. She's much healthier. I'm praying for my sister Tracy's health and maybe with me not being around anymore that maybe my soul won't agitate her soul as much, eh? Yeah. I know I do that to some people, right? I don't even have to do anything. I don't have to say anything and somebody will crank off at me for no reason, but I know that it's just because my soul, for whatever reason, is just not getting along with their soul, right? And it's not their fault and it's not my fault. It's just something that happens. But then again, in saying that, there are souls that I connect to that I connect to, right? I have people that I meet once and I just feel, just close to them, even though we don't hang out all the time, right? I'm just not one of those people that just like to hang out, right? Though maybe in my younger years, right? But even then I didn't, I used to go to parties and just sit there and then just make a polite exit whenever I could, right? And just kind of, show up just out of, because I was kind of like the honorary, queen bee of the bar. And of course you gotta, head waitress, you gotta invite them, right? So I would go just out of courtesy, right, to the people who invited me. Robert's here. Holy moly, Robert. We're just about to call it an end. We got 11 minutes left. What's going on with you? What were you doing today? I love Robert. Robert, you're going to have to go back. It was a gooder today too. And Robert, this would be a good live for you to watch from beginning to end too, right? I started it at 7 o'clock tonight too. It's an early one. So, and I still leaving at 9 o'clock, right? But I thought maybe I would anyway. I'm feeling pretty good. I don't know. I have no expectations for the week, but I know that I'm going to give it everything I have this week. I'm out looking for work, and I'm going to be looking for a place to live, and yeah, it's going to be interesting how it all turns out, and I'm excited to keep you guys posted, because when I show you guys, right, what I did, that you guys will be awfully proud of me, right? And maybe some of you might want to go off and try what I never thought there was a chance for happiness for me ever again. I just saw myself going further and further down every year, like it just got worse and worse and worse. Like even into my YouTube channel, it went up a little bit when I first started, because I was having fun, but then even that went, it just got to be miserable, right? So I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased I stuck it out as long as I have, and I'm pretty excited to get back to work so I can buy my own car and get back on the road right away, and yeah, let's see what I can do. Yeah, like I said, today, just studying, just staying calm and contemplative. And I had a couple of baths. I take lots of baths, just to help me keep in the right frame of mind. And like I said, I have my prayer stone. But isn't that a beautiful stone? See how it just like the perfect prayer stone. Isn't that just amazing? I just got to be careful not to knock myself in the head and knock myself out, right? Yeah. Okay, so everybody. Oh, awesome. Yeah, the content was a little mopey this week because I had to make some tough decisions. Last week I made some tough decisions, and and yeah, just again, like I said, I'm feeling that feeling that I need to get out there and just start making it happen for myself, right? I know emotionally I got it, right? Like emotionally, I don't know how, but yeah, yeah, I feel terrific, everybody. Like I feel like a new person. I just feel wonderful, and I shouldn't, and I'm not even going to feel guilty. Like I was beating myself up the other day for feeling so good when I went for a walk, right? But yeah, you can't do that when you're feeling good. Yeah, you got to keep that feel good feeling going for as long as you can. And don't say as long as you can. You got to keep that feel good feeling just going, just period. Just keep it going, right? And I've been really lucky, that I'm such a good sleeper. If I wasn't such a good sleeper, it probably would have been, a little bit harder for me, to get it done, because I'm not somebody who really likes to be tired. I always like to be energized. Oh, look at me yawning. Yeah, but I do, Robert. I feel absolutely just terrific, and partly too, I think too, because I started meditating about 6 months ago, but I was only doing it, you know, well, at first I was doing it every day, a couple of times a day, but then it just weeded itself out to a point where I was doing it maybe once a week. And then I know like the past month I wasn't doing it at all. And then I started meditating again, right? And Yeah, it's just I think it helped out. I think it helped out a lot. So I'm going to meditate every day now just to my dad meditated. My dad meditated twice a day for 20 minutes, right? For as long as I'd ever known him, right? My dad meditated. But yeah, so I'm gonna keep up the meditation, and I really like the Reiki, right? Oh, and I discovered Tai Chi. I'm not very good at it, right? But I'm learning it. I like Tai Chi. I like those slow movements, right? I like those slow movements, and I like what the movements mean, right? And yeah, it's really hard when I bend my knees and I bend down, right? Because I don't like to hold my weight on the bottom part of my legs, right? It's yeah, it feels like I'm weightlifting, but I do it a little bit, right? But I just really like it's like dance, right? It's almost like dance. Oh, and what's that new dance I want to learn? Afro Cuban dance. I wrote it down this afternoon. I saw a lady doing it and I went, oh, is that ever beautiful? So, yeah, I'm going to see if I can find a couple of videos on Afro-Cuban dance and see if I can learn it because I really liked the music too. The music was very, I don't know, jungly. I really liked it. Yeah. Okay, looking over my notes here. What do I got to do? What do I got to say? Abundance, abundance, abundance. Momentum, momentum, momentum. Yeah, and positivity, right? Like I'm just gonna say positive, and I'm just gonna wow some people. I'm just gonna really. I want some jaws to drop. I really do. I worked hard, right? And I am deserving, and I know what I have to offer now, right? So yeah, a little bit of confidence, and I do have goals out there, but I've got asks attached to those goals, and that's for my own self-worth and my and value for myself. I do need that, and but I can wait. If it's not time, then I can wait, and I'll just go off and do other exciting, fun things in the meantime. Okay, everybody, let's call it a night. Cindy's got a walk still, and I know I'm going to be, thinking a little bit, but I think I'm going to just breathe in the beautiful, fresh, cold air and just enjoy a nice walk, right? Okay, everybody, have a great night. I will watch this over in the morning, and if I didn't catch your comments or your questions, I will find you in the comments below if you want to come back and write a comment in below. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you liked my video. I put myself out there for you guys, right? I'm setting the example out there, and if you don't think I'm a crazy lady, yeah, give me that thumbs up. It would be appreciated. YouTube will send out that video. Okay, everybody, have a great night, and we'll see you next Sunday.